Welcome, 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 guys. Thank you for coming back to Chew and Chat with Yana Lou. It is always a pleasure to meet you here every single Friday from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. Today, we have a beautiful guest. I mean, she is scrumptious. You guys know that Yana Lou loves everything delicious, and she comes with a little Caribbean twist. As a matter of fact, I'll let her tell you where she's from when she gets on, but you know, Caribbean is one of my faves. Tonight, we're going to be talking to someone that is in the government official arena. She is a city councilwoman of Lawrenceville, and her name is Miss Marlene Crawford. How about that? Marlene T. Crawford. She's a beautiful woman. She's, as a matter of fact, she's sweet. Guys, you know, if you don't know what the show of Chew and Chat Yana Lou is about, it is about pushing you towards your goals and dreams and putting the spotlight on the next who's who. Guys, go get your popcorn, go get your socks and your bears and all your little family members and cuddle up to come back to Miss Marlene Crawford, City Councilwoman of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and all she has to inform you guys on today. We'll be right back live 5 with Yana Lou. Hey guys, welcome back. Caught me looking off in the audience, didn't you? That's always a good one. Guys, thank you for coming back. Like I said, once again, Chew and Chat with Yana Lou is about pushing you towards your goals and dreams and putting the spotlight on the next who's who. Right now, it is African American History Month. Yay. So we do have a beautiful person to give some kudos to and put the spotlight on the right person. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Miss Marlene Tucker Crawford on the camera with us today.
Hello. So it's Marlene Taylor-Crawford. Thank you.
Listen, sometimes y'all get a mind blur. You know that brain.
Yes,
It messes with me sometimes.
No problem. No problem. Thank you
Welcome, my
so.
queen,
Thank
welcome, my
you.
queen.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me. This means a lot.
Oh, most definitely. It means a lot to me to have you as City Councilwoman of Lawrenceville because I'm a Guanetian myself.
Okay, you know the word Guanetian.
I'm a Guanetian of Decula, so I'm up in
Okay.
Decula,
Yes.
and that's where I reside. But I love it, Lawrenceville. I was just here. How about it, Patrick? We was there about 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
God
right.
elevated me from there and took me somewhere different.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to bring you guys on here to meet Miss Marlene Taylor Crawford, right? To bring you on here to educate you what her position is out here in the city today. You are the City Councilwoman of Lawrenceville.
I am, and I'm actually in my third year in office. And this year I'm actually mayor pro tem. So that means the vice mayor, each year we rotate that position. So this year I'm mayor pro tem, but I'm councilwoman Marlene Taylor Crawford, post 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we run on post, so I am post 4.
Okay, well, that's awesome. We just had from Savannah, Georgia, he was running Daryl Singleton. He was running for post number 1. And I just interviewed him as well. So, you know, given the fact that it's Black History, guys, Patrick Parkins has broken the mold, and you know he's a trailblazer with the real Yana Lou, and we've broken history in the arena of interviewing African Americans for the first time in their position.
Yes.
Danya Sauter for Jonesboro, right?
Yes.
We had Mayor Beverly Jones for Stone Mountain.
Okay, yes, I met her.
You.
Yes, that's great.
You know, he's been having us down here. And thank you, First Lady, for allowing him to film us.
Yes, and it's so important to have local elected officials come and speak because everything is local, but people think more so with the state, federal, and they're not as involved as they should be when it comes to local politics.
Yes. So let's dive into her, guys. I want you to tell the people, what does it mean to be a city councilwoman? Now, like I can sum it all up, and we're talking about the water, the sewage, the stadiums, the activities. I don't want to get into all the juicy stuff. I'll get into that questioning, but tell the people just in case, because guys, we vote for presidency, but you guys forget to go back and vote right behind that for the other people that's going to put that president on the limelight because he's just a voice.
So we are the local people on the ground that's representing the community. So we have that close touch, as I will say, to the community because it's so easy for one of my constituents, residents, or a business owner, someone who is affiliated with the city in some way, to pick up the phone and call me, have a conversation. So definitely more accessible. And I love that now. It can be late at night too, because being a councilwoman does not mean that I'm working 9 to 5. We don't keep those type of hours. But just knowing that I'm available, accessible means a lot, having that contact with the community.
Wow.
That's really important.
So as a matter of fact. That's why we voted you in, right?
Yes. Well, I'm honored. Thank you. I do not take that for granted.
Amen. Amen. So let's back it back a little bit and let's dive into your before life, before city council. Let's talk about a little bit who you are as a person, how you came to step into these big shoes. And thank you for stepping into these big shoes.
You're welcome.
A lot of courage to do what you're doing. So tell us.
So, what really motivated me to get involved in politics, I was involved in the community for many, many years. And I tell anyone before you try to become an elected official, know your community, have your finger on the pulse when it comes to what's happening in your community, understand the issues, make the connections, build those relationships, because that's going to help in so many ways. And you don't do it because you want to run for office, of course. Do it because it's the right thing to do and you want to help people. So my heart has always been into some type of service. Besides being a councilwoman, mayor pro temp, I'm also a school counselor. So I have years of being involved in education. When I lived in New York City, that's where I'm from originally. I was involved on the local level, like in the tenants association, doing communities, always involved in something, PTA. And that was instilled in me from a very young age because my dad was very involved in community service. He was always doing something. So it's important for children to see what their leaders are doing and really make those connections. And it happened to be my dad. And I was so fortunate because I had an opportunity to go out with him and to volunteer. And also, he started off as a volunteer in the congressional office, the late Congressman Major Owens. And my father was Cuban, so he spoke Spanish fluently. And he was doing such an amazing job, and he just wanted to volunteer and help out, very diverse community. And it led to him being the assistant director of the office. And he just started off as a volunteer. So I tell people, volunteer. You never know what opportunities will come out of that. But most of all, you are giving back to your community, and that is crucial.
I love it. I love it. You know, and being able to stick with parents, sticking up with your parents, and taking that wing and learning from him, that's very pertinent.
Yes.
A lot of us, you know, these days, these kids are buck wild. We're not really
right. And I do want to add, my early years was my dad, but also, and it doesn't just have to be a parent, it can be a teacher, someone in the community, a coach, just someone who's there to help guide you. And I think it's so important for us to have mentors in our life. And I speak to young people a lot about that. And really try to aspire to inspire others. And I think that's really important. That's what I try to do, aspire to inspire.
I love it. So talk about what type of strategies do you use with the city council when it comes to making decisions for the city and the people on the outside?
Okay, really good question. So what I try my best to do, not only attend like city council meetings, of course I have to be there, but I also attend other board meetings. So as a council member, I'm also responsible for appointing people to boards. So when I attend different meetings, especially like the planning development, planning, zoning meetings like that, I have an opportunity to see the residents, business owners come before the board and talk about concerns. and I'm in the back just listening. But then after that, I have an opportunity to introduce myself, to speak with them, and really have a better sense of what's going on. So attending those meetings, not just planning and zoning type of meetings, but also art commission and other boards that we have. I try to go as often as I can.
I like it.
And I stay quiet, so I'm not going in there trying to, take over. No, I'm just in the back taking notes and just knowing how I can further connect with the community.
But you know what? That quietness is really important, what we need, because if we're always talking, I'm an interviewer, so you're going to find me in a corner talking every time.
Yes.
Right? But, it's sometimes, but that quietness that you have, because you are, that's why you attracted me, in the meeting, how we met. But it's very pertinent because that's the only way you can really hear.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's so
And it's about the
important.
people.
That's right. And people need to know that you are listening to them, not talking over them, or being judgmental, but listening and being empathetic. And that is so crucial in building relationships.
Yeah, that is. So now, as you were going to college, when you were embarking on school and walking with your friends, was there like a sorority? Did you join anything? Was there anything to help you boost you too?
So the sorority, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Go ahead and do it.
Sorority egg.
You better give your girl one of those. I love it.
Yes, I'll do it at the end.
I love it.
Yes, but actually, I pledge in graduate school.
Okay.
So I did not pledge in undergrad. The college that I went to, we did not have a fraternity or sororities there, so it was no Greek life on campus. But for me, it was just being connected with different student groups, different organizations, always being involved in something. So being what I call a well-rounded student, of course, doing my best academically, but also being involved in student groups.
I like it. Because you got to have that involvement in order to learn.
Oh, absolutely, because I need to know have my finger on the pulse, what's going on, and make those connections and, form groups, to study groups to help each other. So that was really important. But I was not your typical type of student because I also was a mom. I was a mother from a very young age. So I do have
workload.
Yes. So it was all about school and doing some activities at school. But after that, I had to go home and take care of my family.
That's a heavy one.
Yes.
So now, when you talk about city councilwoman, what are some things? I know I was tapping on it in the beginning in the introduction, but let's hear you tap about what all is under the umbrella of city councilwoman, so they know what they can do, how they can go to it, and if it's what they need, because they might need to go over here to the mayor. So let's explain what your position is.
So depending on the city that you live in, the charters are not necessarily the same. So the charter is what governs the city council. So in the city of Lawrenceville, we have a mayor and 4 council members, but the mayor is part of the city council. And then we also have a city manager. Now, the city manager is appointed by the city council, and he happens to be a man in the city of Lawrenceville, but in some cities it's a female. And he does the day-to-day operations, but we set the policy in the city to determine what's going to happen, and he acts on our directives. So we're responsible for setting the budget, making determinations when it comes to developments, passing the ordinance, which are the local laws in the city. So everything that has to do with the governing of the city, the policy, falls under the city council, and the city manager, along with his department heads, takes the lead to make that happen. So I do want to really emphasize that in order for a city to thrive, of course, you have to take care of the residents, but you also have to take care of the people who work for the city. And we do our best to make sure that we show our employees that we care about them. That's so important. And we have a fabulous team of employees working for the city of Lawrenceville.
I can concur to that.
Yeah.
Because being a Grenetian, baby, it is the best thing since sliced bread. It's really- I love, love, love. Now, don't all flood out here now. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Councilwoman, I want to ask you a question about the eminent domain. When it comes to that, a lot of people, a lot of us on this side, we get a little frustrated when we have our homes, our things, and then someone could just come and take over because they feel like I want to better the place. But is it really? So how do you guys go about making that decision?
Okay,
That's
so
something personal.
that's a legal decision. So a city cannot just come and say, okay, we're going to take over someone's property because we want to build housing there. So there's certain things under the law that we cannot do, and which is good. I mean, not just for the city of Lawrenceville, any city. So if someone wants to use eminent domain, that's after all other types of legal actions have been exhausted. So when that goes into effect, it has to be a legal decision, but it can be used for something like a park. Say, for example, someone wants to build a park, there's property there, because there's a situation like that that has taken place in the city of Lawrenceville and along with the county. But that was after a lot of negotiations with the family and going back and forth. So that's certainly not the first action, and I'm certainly not going to promote something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not my stand at all.
Because it's heartening.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
question that the public want to know. That if you got a city councilwoman to ask. So
Right. And of course, and I do want to emphasize that people can come out and speak about an item. So it's so important for people to be proactive rather than reactive. Come to the city council meetings, because to be quite honest with you, those meetings are not well attended. Now, people go to the county commission meetings, especially when there's a big item that's coming up. So, and also with the city council meetings, but on a regular basis, most of the people that are there are the staff members who are coming to present. So in order for council members to be held accountable, or any elected officials, people need to be in that space too, as much as possible. And also, if you physically cannot come to a meeting, it's posted online, Facebook Live. So be involved and don't think that you do not have a voice. And I ran in order for people to know that they have a voice, and we need to hear your voice. It's so important.
It is. Thank you for that. I do. So when we talk about taxes, let's talk about the new taxes, like dealing with the water rates and the water resources. I know that sometimes that we can send it out to different sectors. If we send it out to private companies, or we send it to government companies, and then if whichever one you choose to send it to, there goes an inflation on our bill. So
Okay, so the city of Lawrenceville, we are responsible. We have gas and electric. We do not control price the water. That's priced by the county.
okay.
Yes. And not all cities have their own utilities. Some do, some do not. Some cities have their own police department. Some do, some do not. But in the city of Lawrenceville, we have our own police department, but we do not oversee, like we don't have water. We have gas and electric. And the fire department is provided by Gwinnett County.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 16 cities, just a little history here, 16 cities in Gwinnett County, and the city of Lawrenceville is considered the seat of the county. But we are actually not the largest city. We are second largest. The largest city is Peachtree Corners.
Yes. Lord, and the busiest.
Yes, very busy.
Peachtree City is the little colorful city, isn't it? It started to get colorful back over the side.
Yeah, so one city is Peachtree City, which is in a different county, and then there's Peachtree Corners, which is in Gwinnett.
Gwinnett.
Yes.
It can cross over, because it'll cross over to like DeKalb or something like that, right?
Yes, yes, it does. And then part of it going back towards Fulton, Gwinnett and Fulton County. Right, so Peachtree City is in Gwinnett County. Peachtree Corners, you're confused. Yeah, Peachtree Corners is in Gwinnett County, and it borders like DeKalb and Fulton County. Yes, and Johns Creek in that area there. But we're talking about the city of Lawrenceville today.
So just keep it right there.
Yes.
I tell you. So, like having you being able to, I tell you what, I'm gonna have a lot of more questions back for her in about 5 minutes. We gotta go to break. This gives you guys time to get up, honey, go get your loved one, sit down, because she is very full of a lot of information that we do need to know. We're gonna get some more questions back here live 5 with Yana Luke in 2 minutes. Okay, guys, thank you for coming back with the real Yana Lou with Chew and Chat with APEP Media, where we put on great things. We have City Woman, we have Councilwoman from Lawrenceville, and her name is Marlene Taylor-Crawford. Yes, the way she spanked me about it, I never get it wrong.
I know it's long. It's long.
That's okay. If it's important, it's important.
Yes, yes, definitely.
I want to ask, how do you handle criticism with your constituents and different people when you're out doing your job? How do you handle criticism?
Okay, another great question. The first thing you have to do is not be defensive. Yeah, stay calm and listen. And listen to understand, not listen to respond. And sometimes that's really hard, depending on the way the person is speaking to you, the tone, and you got to do your best to kind of, okay, let's bring it down. I want to listen to you. I need to understand. So can you just talk a little calmer, because I'm here to help. So kind of setting those boundaries and letting them, okay, I'm here and be a good listener. And also understanding that everything is not a quick fix. You know, we live in a world everyone wants everything. Yes. And the real world does not work like that. So, but listening and making sure you let people know that, okay, I can't answer your question now. I can't solve your problem now, but this is what I plan to do. This is how we can connect. People need to know that you're listening to them, you understand, and you want to help them, not dismissing them. And I think that's really important when it comes to communication and building relationships.
It is. It's very important. So now, is there a time that you can explain to us when you were in a situation, in a tiff, and you had to get up out of it and you handled it to the point where people went out like, oh, okay. Because you actually are the teacher. You're the teacher. I know she's a teacher, okay? She's a teacher, but
I don't know about that. So I'll just speak briefly about something that has come up, and it has a lot to do with thank you. With understanding the alcohol ordinance. And there's a lot of things that the cities cannot do because we have to, first of all, the state comes first. The state law comes first, and of course, federal law. So, but in this case, it would be state law. And I had to really do some research myself to understand, okay, all the particulars and how we have to align in certain things. And so it got really, really complicated. And that's when we really have to rely on our staff members to help educate us and guide us and understand like all those issues. And someone came before the council, and she was pretty upset. And after the meeting, I took that as an opportunity to let her know, well, why don't you reach out to me and let's talk about what's happening. And also my responsibility is also to connect residents, business owners, whoever's coming before the council with staff members and all the council members. We're very good at doing that as well. So she invited me to her establishment to let me see what she had. She was like, oh, I don't want you to think.
So you can see her from
Exactly. And we sat down and had a conversation, and I listened to her first, listened to understand and help her to understand just because you went to one city, because sometimes people compare the ordinance in one city and thinking that
it's the same.
Right. And I use that as an opportunity to listen, to educate, and let's have an action plan, what to do next. So I explained to her, okay, well, maybe in this city, it was this way when it comes to this, this, and this. You didn't need all of this. You didn't have to pay all of this. But it's not like that in every city. So I really want to encourage people, especially business owners, if you're thinking about opening up a business, to please do your research first and understand if the area that you want to purchase, the establishment or rent, if it's zoned for that particular business. I have seen so many people come before council with the lease signed for a whole year and come before council in order to have a permit to do something, and that area is not even zoned to do it. So that becomes a major problem for the person. I've seen that more than once. So as a councilwoman, it's my responsibility also when I'm in the community to educate people, because you have to meet people where they're at and not assume, oh, this person should know that. I don't like that kind of attitude, because to me it's
unfair.
Right. And putting people down. You have to meet people where they're at.
Educate
right, exactly, and educate them. But it's also the responsibility of the person who's going into business to do their due diligence, whether it's with speaking to an attorney or just someone that's well knowledgeable in the business, or speaking to your realtor and asking some pointed questions. Do you know this, this, and this? And if not, come to City Hall and get those questions answered. That would be one of the best advice. If you come to City Hall, because you think you might know something and you really don't, and you don't want it to cost you. Yes, and not so much that, but sometimes people, they know bits and pieces, but they don't really know the full story, and they're depending on what someone else is telling you. No, come and hear from the source. Don't spend thousands of dollars on an investment to find out that, that is not going to go the way that you want it to go. Yeah.
So guys, do your homework. Pay attention to what she's saying. I mean, we only have her for like 20 minutes, but you're getting into her. I want her to give her your social media so you can tap into her. I mean, she's in the city of Lawrenceville.
Yes, and I'm on Instagram, it's on Facebook. It's my name. It's my name, definitely. So if that's a strong message that I want to leave with the audience, please come out to the council meetings. Know who your council members are. If you live some people don't even know whether or not they live in the city limits. So find out, know whether or not you live in the city limits, know who your council members are. So in the city of Lawrenceville, we work at large. So that means that although I'm post 4, I'm still responsible for the entire city. So that's what the terminology at large means. So know who your council members are. Any elected official, if you live in the county limits, know who your county commissioner is, because that's so important. Because you got to hold people responsible and accountable. So I'm an elected official, but I want to be held accountable. That's why I ran, not to just do what I want to do. No, I want to help the people be held accountable. And how do we do that? By knowing your needs and your concerns and having those important conversations.
I tell you what, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to sum it up how they're going to do that. They're going to do it like you, Patrick, and my friend Laura say, mind your own business. If you look into that mirror, guys, and you mind your own business and you focus and you horn in on that thing, not that thing that you just pick up and say, oh, this is a high balance and do that. No, that thing that you have a passion about, that you don't even realize that you got a passion, Marlene, to where you can just be doing something and you'll find yourself back over here doing this thing.
Right.
That thing that you keep running back to, that you keep finding yourself going back to. That is that thing that you get to. Get into that, guys. I tell you, understanding the government official, the rules, regulations, how it goes, city officials, electors, mayors, governors, city councilwomen, automatic posts 1, 2, 3, and 4, all that. We need to know that.
Right.
And one of the things that I want to do before you go, I think I said this too. I think Bob Johnson, Juneteenth of Atlanta, and I think Bill Nelson, and he reports news, MVP News. I told them that I said it to John Eves. We interviewed him, Patrick, and he was running for Democratic Party Secretary.
Yes, I remember when he ran.
We took him on the Capitol grounds.
Okay.
Because that's where he wanted to be.
All right.
And
okay.
So beautiful. But even in that moment, Patrick seen him, and it was like, YANA, I know how. Just like today, guys,
Yes,
let me tell you something.
yes.
When you are doing the right thing and you are on the path for your greatness, what God predestined you to do, or whomever you believe, because you know I'm not, disrespecting anybody's belief, but mine is for God. But if you are on the path to doing what you're supposed to be doing, you will start running and bumping into the same like-minded
That's so
people.
true.
Because that's
That
what
is
happened
so
today.
true.
Marlene
Yes.
been knowing Patrick Parkins, but guys, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have had a wonderful time down here, Marlene. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you
20
too.
minutes is not enough with you, but I know
No,
you're gonna be back.
yes, thank you so
She got to
much.
be back. I truly love you. Guys, make sure you tap into her. Make sure you get out into your city. Tap into the things that she said today. Listen to what she said today. Reflect on what she said today. And then get involved and be great.
Right.
Because you don't know where God's going to have you landed.
That's
You might think you
right.
might be singing, acting, modeling. But if you get into your city, you'll be something else bigger
That's
than what you're
right.
doing. So we'll be right back live 5 with our next guest, guys. I love you so much, Miss Marlene.
And if I can
Tell
say, please remember to vote.
Please say that.
Vote. It is crucial.
Yes.
And if you don't vote, do not complain.
Yeah.
And as we celebrate Black History Month, please remember the sacrifices that our forefathers, ancestors, even our grandparents,
That's right.
parents went through to have the right to vote. So please do not give up your right to vote.
Amen. I love that, guys. We're only one step away. I will be turning 50 on the 4th of June. We're only one step away from slavery because my parents, she was picking cotton. So make sure that you understand we're not far removed. So make it your due diligence to study the show Thyself Approved and get in the city and make a reason for us to have greater instead of just complaining by the wayside. I love you.
Yes.
We'll be back
Yes.
at 5. And Marlene Taylor.
Thank you so much.
We'll be
And
back.
this studio is amazing. It is amazing here. And thank you, Patrick.
Patrick Parkins is the best.
Yes.
Everybody is wondering how Patrick looks. Sometimes I can catch him, sometimes I can't. We play on TV all the time. It is awesome. We have another lovely guest coming here. And I tell y'all, Marlene, if she can stay, but she's so busy, we're going to have her go somewhere else. But we got something else from Marlene coming up. She's going to bring her sorority sisters on here. I'm just going to put it on it. Marlene and I met really quickly at a best friend's party.
Yes,
Patrick, I'm trying to
yes.
tell you about this, guys. I'm finna go. I swear to God, because he's going to kill me. It was best friends, and I was invited to my prayer partner. We go to church together, and her name is Miss Bernice. And she's a flight attendant, right?
Yes.
We had a best friends event at her house for all her friends. You have to be dressed in white, and you come, and it was a celebration, and we had to all individually stand up and tell why we love this lady, right? And it was so beautiful. I've never seen it before. They had food, poster boards,
Yes,
stories, and
yes.
everything. And my little self was there interviewing the whole thing, and And that's when this queen came to me.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes.
Stay close to your friends. Love you. And I love this woman. And we will see you later.
Okay. God bless.